Every device we use today does 1,000 things. And that's both the beauty and the problem. We build these tools to help us focus, create, connect, but sometimes they pull us in too many directions at once. And while nothing compares to the distraction on a phone, sometimes even my Mac, the place where I'm supposed to get things done, feels noisy. So in my ongoing mission to use technology without letting it use me, it's time to fix my Mac. And you know what? I didn't expect that this little experiment would change the way I work and think so quickly. The funny thing is that my Mac looks perfect right now as I'm filming this. It's exactly how I always kept it. No desktop icons, no visible dock, everything clean and minimal. And yet, I keep getting distracted. And sure, I could pretend it's a willpower problem. Maybe one day I'll be the kind of person who can resist every digital temptation with pure monk energy. But today isn't that day. And tomorrow, probably not either. Right now, I need system. Because ending the day thinking, wait, where did those 4 hours go? It's not the vibe I'm going for. Oh man! So I'm starting with something subtle, but something worth mentioning. Messaging apps. In my case, WhatsApp. What I tell myself is that I write faster on my Mac, I can drag files, and it keeps me off my phone, which is always a good thing. But not so good if you end up opening WhatsApp 20 times a day without even noticing. It's never a dramatic distraction, it's just a tiny leak of focus every single time. And listen, I don't want to delete WhatsApp or any other messaging app. I'm not trying to live in a cabin in the woods, even though one day I would love to have an A-frame in the woods. Maybe. Someday. Anyway, what I need right now is like a speed bump. Something that can make me stop and think, do I really need this thing right now? Which probably the answer is no. So I'm trying this app called 1sec, and it's probably the simplest thing ever. If I try to open WhatsApp or Telegram or any other app, 1sec makes me wait 6 seconds, which sounds like nothing, I admit, but believe me, if you're opening something on an impulse, 6 seconds feels almost like a full meditation retreat. Oh, thank God, WhatsApp is ready! And that's the point. If I'm willing to wait, I go in, send what I need to send, and then I'm out. No drama, no punishment, just enough friction to snap me out of autopilot. And honestly, it's working. With the free version of 1sec, you can only block one app, which is fine if you just want to try it out, but the pro version is only $15 a year, and honestly, I think it's very, very worth it. But now let's move to the big one, what I personally call the social media research trap. Because see, I need to do a lot of research in my job. I need YouTube to check editing tips, review camera, get inspiration from other creators. Instagram also for the same reason. These platforms are valuable, but they also come with all the rest. Homepage, Reels, Shorts, Story. That stuff isn't research, but it looks like almost like research that my brain happily falls for it. And again, the point is, I don't want to quit social media. I'm not interested in extreme solution. I just want these tools to behave a little bit more like tools. So I'm trying a combination of apps to achieve this goal. The first one is called Cold Turkey. It can block entire URLs I don't want to see, like the YouTube homepage, for example. So even if I type youtube.com, I land on a clean blank page. No thumbnail, no recommendation, nothing screaming my name. Same for Instagram and a bunch of other websites. Of course, you can customize it the way you want. But the cool thing is that I can whitelist some URLs. So for example, if I block the YouTube homepage, I can still whitelist the YouTube search bar. So if I need something like an editing tips or a camera review or whatever, I can still search for the video, but without the noise of the YouTube homepage. And once I find the video I actually need, another tool kicks in. Rabbit hole. It can hide the sidebar and the comments, basically all the traps that keeps you watching long after you got what you came for. And just to be clear, again, I don't keep this block running all day, every day. I actually enjoy this platform, especially in YouTube. I need them. I just want it to behave during work hours. But I know myself, and if I'm bored, I might open something else. There is always something else to open. Steam, Amazon, AliExpress, the endless cycle of, oh, let me just check this thing, and then it's 40 minutes out of the window. So I made a second cold turkey block called Dangerous Website. Not because they are inherently dangerous, Even though these sites that I mentioned tend to mess up with your money, so maybe they are, I don't know, but because I tend to open them when I'm distracted. These aren't punishment. I see them like guardrails, something that force me to stop and think, do I really need to do this thing right now? And most of the time, the answer is no. But what if I really need those websites? You can set up a delay on cold turkey, so you wait 30 seconds, in my case, to open those websites, and then you get 5-minute access. Neat. Now, even with all of this, I noticed something. Sometimes it's not the apps that distracts me. Sometimes it's the Mac itself. When it gets slow, laggy, or when the rainbow wheel shows up, my attention just breaks. So that's why I'm truly happy to say that the sponsor of today's video is Clean My Mac. I've been using Clean My Mac way before this channel even existed. And the fact that they're sponsoring this video just feels right. It does exactly what I need for a setup like this. With one scan, I can remove junk files, clear hidden cache stuff, and keep everything running smoothly without having to dig through menus or pretend I know where macOS hides things. And lately I've been using two features a lot. Space Lens, which show me exactly what's taking up space in a really visual, easy to understand way, and Cloud Cleanup, which helps clean sync files and old cloud stuff I totally forgot existed. For a distraction-free experiment like this, having a Mac that doesn't freeze or slow down is honestly essential, otherwise I'll just find another excuse to open YouTube or Instagram. And since we are in the right time of the year, from now until December the 1st, the entire MacPo store, including Clean My Mac, is 30% off through my link in the description. So honestly, if you've ever been curious to try this tool, this is the time. Okay, but now the Mac is running smoothly and all the big distractions are under control, but still, there is something else. Not all distractions are loud. Some are tiny, almost invisible. Like checking a date or a small piece of information like which song is playing on Spotify right now. Stuff that should take 3 seconds, but somehow, in some way, turns into opening a tab and then a new one and a new one and a new one. So I've been looking for tools that could give me the information I need right where I am. Tools like Boring Notch. What it does is really simple. It turns the useless MacBook notch into a little status bar for useful information. So instead of opening a calendar app or switching windows or breaking my focus just to check something small, I can see it right there, in the notch. And I know it sounds silly, but believe me, that tiny glance can save you from a full detour. And it's also free and highly customizable. I barely scratched the surface. But even with all these tools, there is still one distraction I can't fully avoid. The one that shows up inside the app I'm using. It's like the moment I start writing or working on something, a small creature wakes up in my head and starts to try to drag me into another tab. And that's where Micromanager kicks in. If cold turkey feels like a gentle friction, Micromanager is more like Gandalf slamming his staff on the bridge of Khazad-dûm, but this time yelling, "You shall not click away!" Because the rule is very simple. I pick one app, set a timer, and that's it. Then I cannot open anything else. Anything. If I tell Micromanager that I'm writing in Notion for the next hour, then my Mac becomes a sacred temple of Notion. No email, no browser, no search, not tiny detours that magically becomes 30 minutes, and honestly, it's calming. Because suddenly there is no temptation, no negotiation, it's just me, the task, and a timer quietly judging my life choices. And look, just because Micromanager locks me out every other app, that doesn't mean I suddenly become an unstoppable focus machine. I mean, I can still stand up from my desk and go pet my cat for 45 minutes straight. Or pick up my Game Boy just to check something. Or grab my tennis racket and start doing shadow swing in the living room like I'm preparing for Wimbledon. So yeah, this isn't some magical cure. There is no app on earth that can stop me from distracting myself when I'm really committed to it. I'm just trying, so please don't judge. But jokes aside, as I've been doing this experiment for a few days now, I noticed something. Patterns, not in my Mac, but in me. I didn't make my Mac a dumb machine. I made it smarter about my dumb habits. And it feels good. Because I don't want a computer that forces me into a productivity boot camp. Or a setup that collapses the moment I have a normal human day. I want something that nudges me gently. That can slow me down when I'm acting on impulse. That can keep the noise out, so the work in front of me becomes the obvious thing to do. This system is not perfect, I am definitely not perfect, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more in control, not disciplined, not optimized, just more aware of how I can use this thing that sits in front of me almost every day, all day. But now that my Mac is finally cooperating, it's time to face the device that steals our focus even before we are out of bed. So if you want to see me try to fix this chaotic little thing, this is the video you want to watch next. Ciao!